Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
With a nasty temperament. Ice, well, his watch is working as well as ours. No, there it is.
Got your attention?
Damn! What is the biggest ick?
People like wrestling.
You can suck my fucking dick!
There's always that. There's always that wonderful start to the show. We're here tonight. Got Sweet Chin Music. Got Papa Whaley, Biggie Shaq. Beckerman is not joining us tonight, but he's always here with us in spirit. So Beckerman, happy to see that you're doing good things. He's hanging out with the family tonight. So, he had to take his show off, which is cool. Oh, man.
Yeah, good to see y'all. What up, Chris? What up, Pop?
What's going on?
We had a good week in wrestling.
Yeah, a lot of stuff went down.
Yeah, what are we talking about tonight, Chris? What we got on the agenda?
Well, figured that we would start out with the pay-per-view from last Saturday. So we won't get into the AEW one. I personally haven't watched the AEW one. I know Papa is anti-AEW, so I don't think he's seen it. So I don't think any of us really have seen it. So we really can't comment so much on that one. The All In. But WrestlePalooza we did see, definitely have some thoughts on the show, and I just wanted to kind of go over that with everybody, just because last weekend was a big wrestling weekend. So starting off with the WrestlePalooza show, they kind of threw a curveball at everybody, starting out with the Brock Lesnar and John Cena match. Right out the gate. Initially, it was on the card. If you had looked it up, it was supposed to be the women's title match, and they moved it to have Brock on early. So Brock and John Cena opened the show. It was a massacre of John Cena. Brock gave him what was it, like 12 F5s or some crazy number.
Yeah, I think it was like 6 or 7. I don't think any of us predicted that Brock would win, and I enjoyed it. What did you think?
My thoughts that I thought was that it would be a DQ. So I figured Brock would, same result. Brock's gonna beat the shit out of Cena. He's gonna squash him, and then he's gonna, just the refs gonna be like, all right, enough, stop, and then eventually he gets disqualified. I figured that would have been a better way to do it. You protect Cena by not having him lose, and then you make Brock look strong. Oh my God, like he refused to go by the rules. He stomped out Cena. That's not what they did. They pretty much eviscerated Cena right there. And it's just like, for me, I just kind of look at it where it's just like, if they're planning on a rematch, how do you build that? Is Brock not feeling well the next time around? Because Brock clearly showed that he can beat Cena whenever he wants, anytime he wants, as badly as he wants. It just kind of seemed like kind of poor planning if you're doing a rematch. Now, if that was their one and only, if that was their last match encounter, I kind of feel like they did Cena dirty on that one, just because what's he going to do? I mean, so they've had a rivalry for years, and you just let Brock squash him like that on the last match. If that's the case, I don't know. I wasn't really happy with the result of that match. At least for me. Pop, what do you think?
While Pop gets it together. Oh, go ahead, Pop. Sorry.
Has Cena ever beaten Brock?
Yes, he did. There was one street fight match or whatever it was where he used the rope to choke him in the F5. I'm sorry, not the F5. F5.
Yeah, he did it, and it was a pretty strong win for him when he did it too. It was a big deal for him to win that match. So yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember that was the rematch from the Suplex City one where he suplexed Cena like all over the ring and squashed him, and then Cena came back, and fought as hard as he could and ended up choking out Lesnar.
Now, for me, I felt like it was good because it was something we didn't expect, and it was it didn't really, it ain't gonna pan out to be anything great besides a surprise that we can't predict everything. But but if you want to grade it as a good for future story, no, it's a horrible idea, and they screwed up big time.
Yeah.
It was okay and wasn't expecting Brock winning.
Well, the hot out with all of that, and really like just for any wrestler, for anybody that goes against Brock Lesnar, right? After seeing that, like I'm not saying that John Cena's made out of steel, right? But it's like, how do you book a story where someone can go like, so the guy that you're quoting and touting as the greatest of all time because he's got the most championship wins, the 17, world titles and everything like that, just got absolutely demolished by Brock Lesnar. And so the greatest of all time was made to look like a jobber. And how do you book other people against him where it doesn't look fake? Where it's just like, oh, Brock let them win. Like, I mean, and that's a problem that you have going, back through time for a lot of things. Like, I remember people used to say the same thing. If Andre the Giant lost a match, it looked fake. Like, if you go back in the 70s and stuff like that, it's like, if he ever lost, it looks so fake because it's like, there's no way anybody is beating him. And I feel like they've kind of given Brock the same thing where it's like, I mean, can you believably think that someone's going to beat Brock Lesnar after what he just did, or if they're going to have him go in and squash people? I mean, it's almost like, you know what? Brock's proven that he's the toughest person they have in there. Just like DBH said, he said, how does any person on the planet beat him? Seeing him put on a display like
well, what else is interesting is that oh shit, I forgot his name. What's the guy that ECW guy?
Oh, you mean I'm thinking, all right, so someone who was unstoppable, like Taz, like how he was?
No. I'm talking about the guy that announces the people.
Oh, Joey Styles.
No. I'm sorry. The freaking owner, the guy that was there with him that night.
Yeah, Paul.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the most interesting thing is that Paul Heyman immediately jumped on with him and announced him. So that could be good for future storytelling. I would say.
Absolutely. Like where I could see this going eventually, because I think that, I mean, the direction they want to go with the vision is for Braun Breaker to be the guy who, basically tears them apart. And I would say probably Heyman's going to screw over Seth Rollins to maybe put the title on, or at least give him some type of win to make Braun Breaker the guy. And then at that point you have him versus Brock. That would be kind of a fun match because, you have a young dominant guy versus, the guys arguably most dominant guy you have. So that would be kind of a fun one, but whose side does he take? You know what I mean? I think that, it definitely was interesting that you have, Paul Heyman go right back to being like, yeah, I'll be in Brock's corner because he asked me to. And he had a great answer in the press conference about it. He's like, do you think I want to lose my life giving out Brock Lesnar's business? Like, we don't talk about that. So, it'll be fun. I mean, it would be fun to see them back together again, but, it might be a little bit further down the road, but who knows?
There's no storylines in Cena's last matches, let's all admit now, because you can't pay it off in 3 months.
Yeah, that's I would say, and that goes back a while actually. I think Biggie actually had the best analysis on that one, saying that, and I agreed with him when he said it, saying that his last opponent, the person that you should have built the story around would have been Randy Orton, the guy that he literally broke in with. It's just like that story writes itself, and they've done nothing but just kind of give him these quick, short, like, all right, we build this match for a month. All right, never again. It's the last time. It's really weird, and it really doesn't make sense. I'm not sure where they go with Cena at this point. Like I mean, what's next for Cena? Like, who does he face that makes sense? That makes anybody excited?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good rub for everybody else, though. I thought of Seth Rollins when I saw Paul Heyman as his guy. I'm like, so are you going to pick him over Rollins now? You know, like I don't know.
Oh, I think the Seth Rollins thing, that group, I would say that the most they have as far as the timeline is till WrestleMania, if that. I think by WrestleMania they'll be either on the way to breaking up or already broken up. Just because I think that group only lasts as long as Seth Rollins holds the title.
No, I agree. I think that Heyman will stay with Rollins just because of the title, and that's the future thing is Cody and Rollins right now. That's like what we are anticipating, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would guess. I mean, just because I don't really know, where you go from there. Because all right, Cody has a title. I think CM Punk. I mean, they've built it so that CM Punk takes it from Seth, but then it's just like, who fights Cody? Because Cody's been an afterthought too. Like no one's really been worried about who his opponents have been, and I mean, you can say, all right, Rollins world champion, but it's almost kind of like the 1 and 1A. So it's just like, but the Universal title is the top title. It's just like, and no one's cared about the top title in months, which is kind of weird. You know, it seems like after
now
WrestleMania,
that's the interesting record. Is like I don't know how many times Cody's beat Seth Rollins, but I think it's quite a few.
Oh yeah. I think Seth has only beat him maybe like once or twice, and then Cody's beaten him the rest of the times. And they're gonna have a match in Saudi Arabia. I know that. It's just to be the crown jewel champion. So it's like you won that. It's basically like a once a year type thing. So it's like, all right, if I beat you, then I'm the champion of the crown jewel event. Which, I mean,
I heard Cody say 3-0, and then I saw. I mean, Instagram's full of shit, but I think it was like 22-0. But I'm on page with you. Like, I think he's beat him once or twice at least.
Yeah, he's definitely beat him in, I think, just about all their singles meetings. And then they had, I think a couple of tags, but then they actually tagged together. So it's just like, I mean, I think 1-on-1, Seth is winless against Cody, as far as from the time he's come back. So, but.
Braun Breaker is Cena last match.
It could be. I mean, the one thing that you can say about the last few is that Cena's been putting people over that he wants to put over. Like, even though Logan Paul didn't get the wins against him, Logan Paul's worked with him the most, and so over this farewell tour, and I mean that's definitely helped push him better and make him look like he's a main event guy. So, I could see that. I could see Cena putting Braun Breaker over just to kind of give him that little push and momentum. Because if you look at that, that's what, December, probably mid-December, late December, when that's going to be the end of his story. And then you got the Royal Rumble. So give him a nice Royal Rumble push. Maybe Breaker wins the Rumble, and then you have, some type of storyline set up there. Maybe that's what breaks the vision up. I don't know. So speaking of the vision, so that'll be the second one. Dr. Von Hoot says Cody is 4-0 over Seth. So yeah, there you go. Undefeated against him. But match number 2 was the vision of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker with Heyman, which Heyman was kind of hidden, versus the Usos. And that was actually a pretty good match. LA Knight was a special guest referee. That one was pretty good. I thought that, overall, I was of the opinion that the Usos coming back together, they would have won that match. I think, as far as a match was concerned, it was solid. The fact that, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker went over was the right decision to kind of build those guys up, just because they haven't had much going for them as of recent, because it's been a lot of, just like DQ finishes and stuff like that. So I think that building those guys to get them, some more momentum is a good thing. I don't know if they need to be tag team champions at all, but I think that giving them the momentum was the right thing to do.
Yeah, you're right. I agree completely. I feel like they're building, was it Bronson or where the fuck his name is? Who's the big Samoan guy?
Bronson Reed, yep.
Yeah, Bronson, dude, they're building him to be like a monster, and it's starting to get over with me. At first, I was just like, oh, he looks like a fat indie dude, you know? But at this point, dude, like that little bit of girth is like working. The avalanche, he's getting some momentum. Yeah. The move looks better every time he does it, dude. I like it, dude.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think he is kind of stepping into his own. I think, and what a lot of people forget too is he came off a really major injury with his ankle. Like he broke his ankle in the War Games. He's been out for months. So giving him that momentum and bringing him back to being, kind of, just that monster, having him beat up and steal Roman shoes and everything like that, like that, it's a big deal. So I'm glad he's getting over. What do you think, Bob?
That was good match. I knew the vision was going over, and they finally looked like a real tag team with same colors and all.
That's right. You did point that out when we were watching it. That they actually came out, in matching, matching attire so that they look like an actual team instead of two guys that are just thrown together. So that, and that I think goes a long way too to making them look legitimate in the tag division, where it's like, hey, you're a team, look like a team.
Got one more little tidbit on this one. So I don't know if y'all are like I am, but this is the first time I've actually heard them referred to as a vision, and it seems to be coming off pretty natural. So I understand it's Seth Rollins' vision and shit like that, but yeah, that's the kind of the first time I've seen them packaged that way, and it went over pretty smooth.
Yeah, they are all wearing, vision on their attire. So yeah, like they're doing what they can. Because at first it was just, they were just, that whole group, and then they finally gave them a name, and now they're stepping into that role. So, and it's good to make it so that everybody, understands who they are, and not just, oh, there's three friends in the ring. Like who are they? Like what do they do? So, I think the vision is doing well. I'm glad to see that, like you said, that they're actually looking together as a unit rather than kind of just three individuals that are just put together by Paul Heyman. Let's see. So we have the next match. Next match, actually, for me. So this is when I looked at it, this was the match of the night. Like this was the best, I think, overall worked match of the night, which was Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky for the women's championship. And they put on a great show. They did a lot of, they gave them time to tell their story, to let it be. And Stephanie Vaquer came out victorious. She is the new women's champion. And they did a good job with this match. Both women had their time to shine. And really, it's one of those things where if they put it at the beginning of the show, it would have been great. But I think that the reason they moved it was because of the plan with Lesnar, and they didn't want that to outshine. They didn't want the opening match to outshine that one at that point. So, I think that overall this was probably the best match of the whole card. But they did a great job.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed that one, so it's just going to be you and Pop on this one right here.
Wait for it, big shit all over it.
One more time, Pop. Gotta wait for Pop to respond because we didn't quite hear what he was saying. We want to hear his thoughts on this one.
Yes, it was great. Biggie hates women's matches.
I don't know about that.
I just missed it, dude. I watched the intersex one because it had Punk and Rollins. I saw some of it, but I don't know, dude. I didn't watch it live, and I didn't watch the replay. So.
Yeah, and I understand that. Because when we were watching Biggie, he had showed up after that match, so he didn't get to see that. But But yeah, it was definitely a good match. I think Stephanie Vaquer is going to be a good champion. I think it's good to put somebody else in there because Io has been she's been a good champion, but there's really not much for her to do with that. But Stephanie Vaquer is someone who they've wanted to build and make. Like they wanted her to go right to the main roster. She wanted to go to NXT to establish herself, and now she's there as the champion. So people can get to see a lot of different matches that they've wanted to see with her. So that'll be fun for them as long as they are able to keep her, just looking good and strong against opponents. She'll be champion, I think, till I would say I could see her being champion maybe till WrestleMania, at least to the Rumble. That I see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dr. Von Hoot says she could have been the IC title holder for a year and actually built the women's title. She's new and in good health. Yeah, she is. They haven't beaten her into the ground.
Everybody's saying that was the one, huh? Everybody's like, yeah, that was the match.
It was a good one. It was. I think that they knew they were going to give them the time to really go out there and put on the best match. And I think that was, out of everyone, I think that might have been the most well-built match as far as storyline goes. So maybe that's what helped it shine above the others.
Yeah, I'm a Charlotte fan, so if she's having a big match, I kind of check in. But the rest of them, not so much. I'll try it out, though. Let's see how it went.
She's only champ because Naomi got prego.
Dude, Naomi's dude. Her punches are legit, dude. Like that girl, she throws a mean flurry. Probably better than anybody, in my opinion. She looks great when she throws her fake punch.
So with that, I'll say she's the champion. Yes, because Naomi. Because Naomi got herself over, and that was the thing. A lot of people were like, oh, like what's Naomi doing? She got herself way over. So it was like, yeah, of course. You know? But I feel
her
like
gimmick punch is like better than men's, dude. Like people really should check that out. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, no, she did a good job. Like just because I remember when she was doing that feud with Jade Cargill, and it was kind of messy. Like no one knew what was really going on, and Bianca was the most over one at the time. But I mean, once Naomi actually kind of broke through and was able to do her own thing and be like, no, I'm evil, like I'm a bad character. And then, like you said, like she makes when she fights, it looks like she's really drilling people.
She looks like she's really hitting people. Great.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, man.
But all right.
How about that other girl got over with the crazy gimmick too, right? What's her name? She's like bipolar now.
Oh, Bailey.
Yeah.
Bailey's one is kind of weird. Like she's happy, she's sad, she's all over the place. But like, we'll see where that goes. That thing, that kind of gimmick. I mean, if you do it well, like Nikki Cross did it well, and she did, the just lunatic thing really good. But if you don't do it well, people get bored of it real quick. Because it's like, all right, so you're happy, you're sad, you're crazy, you're not. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It takes the right kind of person to pull that off. So
I like that one girl with the gimmick belt too. Like, I think that was real smart using the neon lights and shit. So that's all I wanted to add on to that before we moved. She knows what she's doing, dude. She's very smart.
Definitely. I think in between this match and actually it might have been in between the next match that came up was the Undertaker decided to we lost Biggie. I'm sure he'll be back in a second. So the Undertaker decided to ride down and show up and very provocatively say that I have been watching you, Stephanie. I know you've been watching me and everything else. And then he asked her if she was ready, and she's like, ready for what? And he's like, you're going in the Hall of Fame. And I was like, oh, goody. Another one that I don't really think deserves to be in the Hall of Fame outside of her name. She's really not done much.
You can't say that in front of Pop. What?
Oh, I did. I said it that same night. Papa was losing his mind. He's like, "Oh, you're crazy. She deserves it." Yeah, okay.
Oh no.
Well deserved.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, this is the thing for me. It's the same as last year. McMahon deserves it more than McCool, but it's still harping back to last year because like one man gang, dude. Get him in, bro. Like get some of these fucking old timers that are still barely hanging on. Give them some love, you know.
Oh, we went through a whole list of people that should be in the Hall of Fame that didn't end up making it, and Pop was like, "No, this guy doesn't deserve it. Neither does that guy." And I'm like, "Come on, dude." Like pretty much, if you have a rack and you're female, Pop wants you in the Hall of Fame. Doesn't matter who. Doesn't care what your accomplishments were. Doesn't care how many matches you've had.
Dude,
you belong in there.
He's in there before Vince, bro.
Bertha Faye is gonna make the Hall of Fame in Papa's mind before. What's it called? Rick Martel.
Dude, just soak that in for a minute. Like it's Vince's Hall of Fame, but not anymore. And freaking McMahon, Stephanie McMahon made it in the freaking Hall of Fame before Vince, dude. Like it was so weird.
Yeah, I can say this much. I mean, if you wanted to put her in as like, okay, she's an executive, longtime executive that's been in there. Okay, I'll give you that. Okay. She's been with the company for a long time. She's helped run it for, and everything else. She's worked on creative and everything else. If that's the premise you want to put her in as, that's not what they're doing, Papa. They're putting her in as a wrestler, and you know it. So don't sit there and try to, well, that's what she got. No. Yes, if they put her in as an executive, I have no problem with that. But if they put her in as a wrestler, we all know that no, that's not deserved. At least in my eyes. That's just me. I agree with Biggie that there's a lot of people that do deserve that were actually great wrestlers that deserve to be put into the Hall of Fame. That, like he said, I could use that moment in the spotlight again to say, hey, you know what? We honor you for what you've done. Thank you for being part of the company and everything else.
Yeah, dude.
And actually, Big made a great point too, that it was initially Vince's Hall of Fame. Vince is not there anymore. So guys that he didn't like or that he didn't want to put in for whatever grudges may exist, those you can move past and be like, hey, you know what? This guy never got a chance to go in, but now he's going to because Vince isn't here to say no anymore.
We looked at the list last year and it was crazy, but the one that stuck out the most was Lex. And you got to remember that Michelle McCool was going in before Lex was. So They saw the fans get outraged and they added them because of it. So hopefully we'll get some more in.
We got D-Runk joining us tonight.
Hello.
We were giving our thoughts. We're making Papa very upset by saying Stephanie McMahon is going into the Hall of Fame. May not be as well deserved. She's going as a wrestler is not deserved at all, I don't think. However, as an executive, yes. But Papa's about to blow a gasket because we said that there's other people more deserving than Stephanie to get in the Hall of Fame before her. But she is the first inductee of the 2026 Hall of Fame.
Well, you got to remember, this isn't the Pro Football Hall of Fame, right? There's not rules on how many people can get let in a year. There's not. She's not taking someone's spot. She's just getting in.
That's true.
And whether or not, like, I wouldn't say her wrestler as a wrestler she should be in, but as a character, she was involved in some of the biggest storylines the WWF, WWE ever had.
Yes.
And then beyond that, as an executive, she was
that I'll give
instrumental. Like, I would 1,000,000% put her in the Hall of Fame. And guess what? I know her dad doesn't own it anymore, but when your daughter gets into the dad's Hall of Fame, who gives a shit? Like that's why you have a rich dad, so you can get into their Hall of Fame. So I'm not butthurt about it.
No, I'm not either. I just wanted to watch Pop get mad.
Whenever you say like she ain't taking anybody's place, that's true. But at the same time, like she's getting in there before people that should have been in there years ago. That's where I'm at. Like, look at the example from last year, D. Michelle McCool, she deserved her spot, right? She should be in there. Whatever. Lex Luger should have been in there years before her. It's the same shit. It's like One Man Gang was huge for like 30 years, 40 years. I saw him in a match. It was like Monday Night Raw. He probably wrestled 40 freaking years. So I don't know who else. Steam Tugboat. I don't think he's in. Like there's some left that are. I think
King Kong Bundy is still not in.
King Kong Bundy still ain't in. That's crazy. It's like I thought Bundy was, but
you got to remember, there's a lot of people not in that don't want to be in.
Yeah, there's always that.
You know, there was a while there where, like, if you weren't working for Vince anymore, it was very contentious, and like they didn't let Macho Man in until he died.
Yeah.
And dude, he's in the Hall of Fame. Just like he slept with Stephanie, or so the rumors would say.
Yeah, the rumor.
Yeah.
But I'll say this too. I think the other thing, the one of the other things that does kind of come up too is that if you do decide to be they do decide to put you in the Hall of Fame, you have to sign a Legends contract. Like, you have to be willing to do that. So if you're not, and so there's certain people are like, yeah, I'll never sign that Legends contract. I don't want them using my likeness and everything else. So that does, I think, play a role into it. But I do think, I think that it would be nice to see some of these people get in. I think that when it comes to some of the hangups that Vince may have had with people, maybe some of that will come down. Coco Beware yes, he is. He's in the Hall of Fame. He got inducted by the Honky Tonk Man. I remember that because he said this guy had drop kicks from hell, and some people were like, oh, like Coco. Like, Coco was great. Coco was great. He didn't hold any gold, but he was a great wrestler, and he's somebody who, I mean, I guess had a good relationship with the WWE after retirement. So
yeah, they're doing pretty good at getting the legends in. I'm not terribly mad at them. You got to get to the women eventually,
Yeah, no. I mean, and I'm being as honest as I can. I said a lot of that just to see Papa get upset, because Papa is very. Oh, I mean, she's in the intro. You know what I mean? So of course, he was basically just going crazy when I was like, oh, she doesn't deserve it. Like, his head almost exploded on Saturday when I said that, and it was funny.
No, dude, I will not ever be mad that she's getting in. I think the body of work behind the camera, in front of the camera, in the boardroom, she deserves a spot. I think she's a lot more influential to the business that we are currently watching right now than a lot of other people that helped pave the way in the ring. But after the ring, before the ring, they didn't do anything, Yeah. Like, Stephanie McMahon is involved.
It ain't like she banged the daughter's boss, or the boss's daughter, to get her spot. You gotta give her that. No. She is the boss's daughter, and she could have been a real stinker, but she was pretty good at what she did. So
the other thing I'll say too is that, like, she also, she never seemed as though she needed him to get her. Like, when she branched out into being into the creative side, it wasn't that she needed, like she did her own thing. Like she was like, yeah, I can run this. We can do this on our own. Like, we really don't need somebody else telling us how to do this. And so, like, I can say 100% that, like, she, as an executive, as somebody who runs the company, as somebody who had vision to try to, bring in more things like she was one of the people that was instrumental in getting women's wrestling to the point where you see it now, where it's just like, they've expanded their brand out with that. They've gotten a lot more of their roster in. It's a bigger part of the show, and she's one of the people that was spearheading that. And she wanted to do these things. She wanted to make this bigger. So I give her a credit in that way. Like absolutely, I'll give her credit. That I just wanted to see Papa get mad. It's because it's fun sometimes.
When the Undertaker announced that she was going in, all I could think of was back in the 90s when he had her on a he was going to do the unholy wedding. Like, I was like, oh my God, Undertaker's back to get his revenge. And then no, he was being a good person, and I love the Undertaker.
It seemed that way, though. Did it not seem a little creepy? He's like, you following me, Stephanie? Is it like if there was some type of, if there's a rumor that, like, oh no, they swap wives and stuff, like, I would 100% believe, like, oh no, Undertaker's been there before. I could tell. Like he was a little bit familiar with her in that promo. Like,
more women are getting in the Hall of Fame now that Vince is gone, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's more of a, I would say it's a more open playing field as far as, considerations and people that are getting in that wouldn't have prior. So, I mean, it's definitely You know, like a lot of people are going to be getting their due, and that's good because, you know, to honor these people that have come before that have done, you know, and like Big says too, because some of it's not about just winning championships and being that great. Some of it's about having that longevity and being like, hey man, this guy was a mainstay throughout the 80s and 90s, and then even, you know, just whether he was on the top of the card or not, like just this guy was able to put on solid matches versus everybody. Like, and when he says one man gang, like one man gang was one of those guys. One man gang put on solid matches with the Warrior, with what's it called, Macho Man, with Hogan. I mean, he put on good matches with a lot of people, and you have, I mean, Big Boss Man's in. Why, you know, you have to kind of put one man gang in there too. At least that's my opinion on it, you know. But we'll keep going with the card here. So the next match was the one that they built as much as they possibly could to try to get as much hype as they could, which was CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, the power couple battle. Man, the pop that she got coming back, AJ did, even though everybody knew it was in Chicago, so you can factor that in and everything else. But people were really excited to see her, you know, come back and actually do some wrestling. I think the match that she had wasn't bad. It was like, I mean, she has been away for so long that like you would expect lots of ring rust. It didn't look like she had tons of it. She was pretty, you know, decent in there. Her was it the octopus stretch for the finish didn't look all that great. So that's why you see a little bit of ring rust there. But overall, it was solid. And I really thought that it was like, I didn't really know what type of finish we would get, like, just because there were so many ways you could go. But I had a feeling that if they were going to try to put some distance between Rollins and Punk, you let Punk and AJ win so that, you know, you can kind of back those guys away from each other, let them, you know, have a couple other feuds and then move forward with some other stuff. And I think they did a good job with it. I thought that Seth getting stomped twice by Punk and by AJ was kind of hilarious. It's like, you know, like he did a lot to help sell them. I mean, Seth gave them enough time to shine and try to make him look as good as possible, including taking his own finisher twice. So that was fun. And overall, I thought that was a fun match. Was it the, you know, best match? No, but it was a fun one. It was definitely fun to see them back in, and I'm curious where they go from here because it seems like you know, AJ is going to be back in the division fighting and stuff, and then CM Punk, you know, can, you know, go and look towards some other feuds, and then you can let Seth build up and actually focus on being the world champion, because I feel like that has been lost ever since he's won the title. Like, what difference does it make? Like, his big thing was winning the title, and then it's just been like, all right, I'm out here making promos with it and everything else. But, you know, I mean, you can almost forget he's the world champion because he hasn't really done much as the world champion.
It's AJ's first match back.
Yep.
She did quite well.
Absolutely. I agree. I think she did good for somebody who, what has it been, 10 years, I think? 10 years?
Yeah.
I mean, she looked good. What did you think, D?
You know, I thought she did great. I mean, it wasn't like the best match you've ever seen, but she looked perfectly fine in the ring. Like, that was her job.
Yeah.
And I always, dude, when AJ Lee had her original run in WWE, I was a huge fan of hers.
Yeah.
I thought she was great at her character. She was great at storytelling in the ring. She wasn't just pretty. She like knew how to be in the ring and do her job. But I also want to put a lot of credit on Becky Lynch. Who, you take someone that had been off for 10 years and she only knew she was coming back a month ago.
Yeah.
And Becky Lynch made her look like $1 million and even agreed to tap out to her finisher.
Exactly.
When you're a big name wrestler, tapping out to someone is kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
that's like letting them put it in your butt, you know, like, and she said, go ahead, no lube needed, just get it over with. So I thought it was a fun match. Like, AJ took a good bump at the end there with the spot on the table. And overall, like, and I can't say this for certain, but I really felt as if Seth Rollins really didn't like CM Punk. But the amount of times that they're working together now, I'm not saying that they're best friends, but I can tell that they had to have patched something up because their chemistry is very good in the ring.
Yeah, that's a lot of the backstage rumors that, like, I've heard backstage rumors that, like, no, that they're actually really cool. Like they like, as much as, like, it's all an act for the most part, like they're doing it for the camera, but, like, yeah, they buried the hatchet, you know, over it, and it's just like, you know, and they're both very good at doing their promo. So Seth can sit there and be like, you tried to bury this company, like, you try to do this and that, and then, you know, and so it gives them a good back and forth. So I think they used the anger that they had once to really fuel this thing, and so that's why I think it's a good thing. Where it's like, yeah, they can get away from each other and pick right up where they left off, just because of the fact that there was that real hatred. But they've made. I mean, because, yeah, like you said, like, they work together so much that you can't, like, if you really hated somebody, you would not work with them as much as you are. It's just like, you know, so the money's there. They're bringing it, and I think that they've definitely like smooth over whatever the issues they have. Big, what'd you think about that match?
It was great. I liked that table spot too. I thought it was good. I liked her finish. She looked really smooth. Like Dee said, she was probably my favorite women's wrestler when she was back in the day, when she was doing her stuff. I didn't like her out of the ring as much as I used to, and in the ring, she's a little dated. The work punches, if she would work on those, she would get over even more. So without them windmill punches, I think she could be like a top tier, hanging with anybody almost. So, and the other thing I take from it is you can only have so many of those like cartoon selling matches with Seth Rollins before it starts to stick. And I kind of don't like that for him. You know, I appreciate his work, but I don't want him to turn into like a cartoon seller for everybody. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Pop, what'd you think? I feel like D is frozen mid-sentence.
Can you hear me at least?
I can hear you, yes. You're frozen, looking like you're getting ready to sneeze. But we can hear you.
It'll be AJ versus Becky pretty soon.
Yeah. One thing I will say is that they've done a good job. Like Becky Lynch has done a good job being the Intercontinental Champion, and they've given that a lot of prestige. That belt kind of feels important in the women's division, not more so than the Women's World Championship, but they've done a really good job building it. And I think that's probably the best thing you can have for that title is AJ feuding with Becky to make that belt feel important, because it already does. So they're on their way to making the women's IC title matter and be a title that women want to chase because of the fact that there's a good lineage with it. So that I feel like is a great thing there. All right, now rounding it out, we have the main event, and I say that very, 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 very loosely. Main event in the fact that it was the end of the card. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. And I mean, God, I kind of think, I think that they should have probably, if you wanted to do this properly, move the Seth Rollins and AJ match to the main event spot, and then you put the Cody one ahead of that, and it would have been just as effective, I guess. Cody versus Drew. God, I mean, if you're Drew McIntyre, I mean, they really just hammered him like a railroad spike. Like, this poor guy doesn't get the big wins he needs. And I'm not saying that he should have won the title off of Cody. I could see him beating Cody for the title. I definitely could. But you knew it wasn't happening there. And he's been in so many feuds. I mean, and this is going back to what, like last year's WrestleMania, where he just doesn't get the wins that he should get. And you want him to get those wins because, I mean, I mean, you look at, you know, big heels. I mean, he's probably one of the biggest and best looking heels that you have. This guy should be winning matches. He should be, you know, winning feuds, and he's not. And he really needs a big win. I just feel bad for him in the way that, like, matching him with Cody in this type of match at this event, there was no way he was going over. So it just kind of took away from the fact that it's the main event. But I mean, they both had a solid match. Like, there was some spots in that match that were crazy. Like when Drew took Cody over his head and like slammed him into the stairs. I was like, oh wow, that like that. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you try and tell somebody that, like, oh, like, look, you'll get me with a receipt later, but I do not want to take that move. That must have been terrible to take, but it looked good. And so I think that, you know, you had a lot of good offense. You had a lot of, you know, good near falls. But unfortunately, Drew came up on the short end of the stick, a guy who really needs a win. Hopefully they, you know, put him in some programs where he starts winning, but, you know, was it a decent match? Yes. Was it a pay-per-view main event caliber match? I don't think so. I think that it would have been better suited somewhere else in the card. But I mean, to have your world champion, you know, the Universal Champion wrestling mid card, that doesn't really look right either. So it's a tough one. But I don't know if there was really any build for that match. I think they just kind of threw it together. So with some build, that would have been a great feud to have. That would be a great, you know, program of matches where, you know, if they do decide that they want to take the belt off Cody and put it onto Drew, that, like, he'd be a great opponent for Cody. I think he'd be an amazing one with the actual fully fleshed out and built feud. D, what do you think about that one?
So there's a couple things that I read online that up until Saturday morning before the event, this show was meant to be very different. Firstly, they had Cena going over Brock. And then they had Drew going over on Cody with interference from Randy Orton that was accidental.
Yes, that would have been that would have been awesome.
And they could have then built, you know, a Cody Randy rivalry. Randy kind of goes like Randy can go back and forth between face and heel easily. Like, is almost more of a natural heel. And I almost want Randy to turn heel and take the belt. That I think would be so that would suffice. And I almost think that after everything that they've had Drew do as a heel, they almost owe him a face turn.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have to switch his character that much to be a face. He could still be disgruntled. He can still feel screwed over. But they've had him lay down for everyone. And they're not respecting that guy enough. Like, they've built him up to be bad enough, tough enough to be this really big threat, but then they keep putting him in a title picture that they're not going to let him have.
Exactly.
And then he's in the mid card, like, and he's too dominant for that. So, yeah, it's just he's in a tough spot.
Yeah.
I think the biggest Drew McIntyre win I know of is against Goldberg, and it was on a one of those Thunderdome matches. But I don't know if Drew really getting over on hardly anybody. Like, who's he beat?
I think he won the match in WrestleMania versus Damian Priest, right?
Yeah, most recently at WrestleMania versus Damian Priest. But that's Damian Priest fell down the card. Like that.
Yeah. Oh, God.
He had fallen down the card a lot before they fed him Damian Priest. So, it was I feel bad for the dude. Ever since he beat Seth Rollins at the WrestleMania and won the title, and then Punk tripped him and Priest cashed in on him. Man, they've really just had him in limbo for a long time ever since.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. Like, I really don't know what you can. I mean, and maybe it's just a thing with the roster's too bloated and they really hate that they don't have much for him. But Drew definitely needs something. I think it's more sooner than later. Like get him back on the winning track, get him a title to hold, put him in some good feuds. Did you have anything else to add, Big, or is that it?
No, you guys nailed it. It does speak on Cody for not having good drawing power either, because I mean, even if they didn't promote it much, he's still supposed to draw, dude. And you were right; it didn't feel like a main event. I'm a Cody guy. The build for Rollins and Cody is going to be a whole different level than this little shit they put together for this one.
It's going to have to be. I mean, just because, I mean, if they don't do much to make it bigger, like what's the point of Crown Jewel then? There we go. Now we get D back.
I don't want Cena versus Orton again in Cena's last run.
I don't think that you would necessarily. I don't know if they would do that, but I really don't know who his opponent's going to be. Like really, I mean, he's gone through his. I mean, he's gone through a lot of his old rivals. Supposedly, it's going to be AJ. They were saying that they want to build for him versus AJ. To
Did y'all see the AEW thing? I'm sure D probably knows what I'm talking about, right, D?
With Edge?
No.
Okay, you know too. Edge. Yeah, Edge was talking to Christian saying he's got to go. His family is upset and blah, 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 and he don't know if he'll be back. And everybody's like, oh, that's obviously a whatever for Cena.
I mean, that would be kind of cool. I mean, if they worked out a deal to give Edge to AEW, I'm sorry, Edge to WWE for a program with Cena, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty massive. I don't know. I don't know how you'd really want to promote that. I mean, obviously, okay, so it's Edge on this show. I just wonder if he goes back and he, let's say, you know, because he's going to get a huge pop and everything else. I mean, and I don't know what his contract looks like with AEW, but I'm pretty sure if he was able to go back, even if it was just to have one match and then come back to AEW, he'd probably be looking to go back to WWE again, just because the amount of money that he could get is probably more than what Tony Khan can get him. And just the pop of having him back for a little bit would have been fine. I'm sure he's also would want to end his career in WWE if possible. Yeah,
we got some options. I'm not really terribly excited of any of them. I'm kind of over the Cena thing. They fucked it up with the heel gimmick and not doing as good as they possibly could have. But you know, it was still Saboteur in there. And
yeah,
overall, you know, will I watch it? Yes. Am I super excited? No.
I've never seen WWE fumble something so hard as they have with Cena's going away tour. Now, like, and you're from Boston, so I don't know if you've always been like a fan of his because like he's a local guy, but I can tell you as a fan, I've been a fan of wrestling throughout his entire career in WWE.
Yeah.
I very quickly hated him.
Me too.
And at a point, after a while, after enough time had gone by, like, even though like I didn't like how quickly he moved into the main event, I eventually started to respect him. And I think a lot of fans did. A lot of fans like me that hated him. Dude, you got to remember, they once made him feud with Kevin Federline, the guy that married Britney Spears, as a way to make him get over with the crowd. And it didn't work. Like Kevin Federline was like the most hated dude in America during that time. And it still didn't work. But he stuck with it, and he was so loyal for such a long time. And I really felt like he had won the love and the respect that he had always wanted. And then for him to go on this good farewell tour, and half of it was as a heel that didn't feel natural, it didn't feel earned. It was so bad. And then to the way that they had to get out of it was so it was unnatural, and it that failed. Getting him out of it failed.
The execution was terrible. The execution of that was terrible.
And I'll tell you right now, Um, I'm fine with him losing to Brock, but he lost to Brock pretty consistently throughout his career. If his last match is not against Lesnar and going over on Lesnar, this match that they just did was a waste. And I feel bad. I don't feel bad for rich John Cena, who's doing well in life, both in the ring and out of the ring. He's okay, but I would have wanted them to handle his farewell tour a little bit better.
No, me too. And I'll be honest with you, like they didn't have to go heel with it. Like he was getting. I mean, he was very over in this like couple of like spot matches that he had. He would have been fine just still being, all right, I'm John Cena. I'm here to be, you know, like if he was still like the hero all the way through, he would have been perfectly fine. Then you make him a heel, which is what people have wanted to see for years. And at first it worked great, but then people could see through it real quickly. It's like, dude, this isn't going to last. And the other thing that I would say too is that, like, I mean, and I will say from my own personal experience, like so I was, you know, again, like you, like I kind of had enough of him early on. I was like, oh, this guy's ridiculous. And I was at the ECW one night stand where he fought Van Dam. Like I'm actually sitting on the chair that I got from that event. And
that's awesome.
I remember that you know that the whole crowd going crazy, and it was like, you know, him getting booed and everything else, and like, you know, if Cena loses, we riot. I'm sorry, if IVD loses, we riot, and all the rest of that type of stuff. And I remember at the end of the match, as a match is coming to a close, Cena gets speared, and at the time everybody hated Edge, like literally hated him.
Yeah, I did.
Like he had just beaten. I mean, as an ECW crowd, he had just beaten
Loved
Tommy
him.
Dreamer.
He
like,
got over so much, dude, off that spear.
Oh yeah. But like, so he had just beaten Tommy Dreamer, who was Mr. ECW. The crowd was very angry with Edge that you know that match had gone that way. And not only did he beat Tommy Dreamer, he pinned Beulah and everything. So like it was like the ultimate insult, right? This dude spears him. The whole crowd, everybody, thank you, Edge, thank you.
Yeah.
They were freaking out because that's how much they hated Cena. And you know, like he did win everybody over eventually, just because he was that guy. He was that good. I think one of the best moments he had was when him and Roman were in the ring, and Roman kind of started doing this promo about like, yeah, you know, like you come back and this is what, you know, and he's like, no, he's like, you don't understand. He's like, I have to come back and do my job because you can't. He's like, and he basically buried Roman in a promo. I mean, buried him hard too. And it was like, dude, that's why he's one of the best. Like he can promo you to death. He can wrestle. He's good. And I think that execution of his farewell tour has just been abysmal, like how they did it. You know, so there you go from it.
So for me, I think what killed his heel turn was he couldn't handle it outside of the ring. Like in the interviews you'd see on the media, I don't know. I think it was a little harder for him because he had such a social media presence and he was interviewed all the time. He couldn't keep that heel shit up. So he would play with the people questioning him, and I think that kind of killed it too. But the two matches that got it over for me with Cena, because I didn't like him that much either. I thought he was cool, but I could see him jobbing out early. I was like, hey, maybe he won't make it, you know. But the one match with the Big Show, I think it was for the U.S. heavyweight, when he F5'd him. Yeah, that was a big deal. And the Brock Lesnar win, he proved he was tough with that one. Those were the two for me.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had. I mean, his body of work is solid, and really, it is kind of crazy when you think about it. You know how badly they like botched this whole thing for him. Like for one of the faces of your company, because I mean, if you're gonna really talk about like the faces of WWE, it's, you know, I mean, honestly and truly, it's like, all right, you have, you know, Hogan, Bret Hart, you know, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, and I mean, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart you can kind of put in a lower tier, but it's Hogan, it's Hogan, Stone Cold, and I would have to say Cena if you're gonna give three absolute major faces of the company. It's those three, and the fact that the farewell tour of the third biggest face, the most current face you have, is just they just throw him in the trash kind of. It's pretty, you know, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really think it's good. But
I hear whispering over there. What is going on?
oh, my daughter wants to say hi.
Well, let her say hi. What's
Go
up?
ahead. No, nothing. She just she was trying to be like nice about it because she didn't want to be loud or anything like that.
Is that a hairdryer right there?
Yep. Brand new one.
Nice.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not? I thought it was new.
The last night game I went to for Red Sox, Mama bought it for me with the hairbrush.
Well, that's newish. That was what, a couple months ago?
Yeah.
Sort of new.
I only use it once, so I'm literally like my own hairstyle like person, because like I got my own brush with it, and like I brushed my hair first, and then I did like in sections, and then I brushed my curtain bangs and like whoosh, and it literally looked like I was ready for prom. Like if I put on a tube dress, I would look like I'm going to prom.
And the crowd has now been educated on, what was it, curtain bangs? Curtain bangs, folks.
Yeah, curtain bangs and blow dry. You should get this on Amazon, I think.
Product placement.
Get it for your daughter, or else she's gonna punch someone.
Well, she doesn't have to punch anybody.
And plus,
Careful.
it's
Well, guys, Lil Shaq wants my phone, so I'm gonna get out early. But I appreciate y'all. Catch me on Collector Club Friday night. Later, D. Later, Chris. Later, Pop. Thank you guys so much. See y'all next
See you,
week.
baby.
Adios.
See ya. Oh yeah, also it's Stitch.
All right. Very good. Go ahead and dry your hair so that it's all set. You get the was it the
Peace.
curtain bangs and all that. Good job.
Is
Curtain
Brett
bangs.
Rushmore? Is Brett
What was
on
that?
your Rushmore?
Is he on my
Brett
Rushmore?
Rushmore.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like
Bret Hart?
Brett is one of my favorite. Yeah. I love Brett.
Yeah, he's off of mine.
He's off of yours?
Yeah, dude, for what he has been after his career ended, I really despise Bret Hart. Like, I don't know, man. It's tough. Like, I hate how much he talks about Goldberg. And I don't like Goldberg. I don't like Goldberg. I'm not a Goldberg mark.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, I see people like Big E, who had his neck broken by someone being careless.
Yep.
And Big E ain't a little bitch about it, you know. Like it's one of those gigs where one wrong turn and you can get hurt. And Bret Hart has been nothing but negative and sour ever since, and I really don't like it.
I hear you. I've heard a lot of people say that, and I can understand a lot of that because like a lot of it comes back to him really badly feeling slighted, and I mean not just so much even the Goldberg injury, and I'm also kind of curious how much of that is him. Like, so Goldberg's an easy target just because, all right, you hurt me, that's it, and you cost me money and all the rest, and I can hear that argument, but I also kind of wonder like if he's just kind of dumping on him or other people just because this is people that he can't say stuff to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shits on everyone. It's not only Goldberg.
Yeah. No, he definitely, you know what's funny about that too is that like if you go back and listen to him, I want to say 90, like, right before he turned heel in WWE, before he left and everything like that. He used to always have this line, I'm not greedy for money, I'm greedy for respect, and you're going to respect me and this and that. And I really do think that he took a lot of that, like, personally, like, even though it's like, all right, this is what the character's saying right now. I think he really did think that, like, a lot of people didn't respect him the way that he thought he should be respected. And, yeah, it just kind of been, you know, just externalized now. And he's just like, yeah, this is crap, and I don't like that. So I hear you. I mean, I still love him. I still think he's great, but I do think that he's definitely... I think he's definitely bitter about a lot of things. I think personal life things. I think obviously losing Owen in the fashion that he did, you know, and just a lot of other things. I don't think he knows really how to process it other than to be like, oh, like this is crap and that's crap. I mean, just because if I'm not mistaken, I think AEW kind of gave him a contract in the beginning, and then he kind of just dipped out on them because he was supposed to manage FTR in the beginning, and then he just kind of went away. And I think that he's also after that just kind of bounce on the business in that way. So like it's just like if he wasn't so negative, people would want him around more. But I think now the business is kind of shied away from him. Like, you know what? Leave him over there for a while, just because like he's got nothing good to say about anybody right now, and it's kind of sad. That's the way I look at it. It's very sad.
Yeah, no, and I also I don't love his promo work when he's working.
Yeah.
I could respect him for being negative about his brother and losing him. I would have felt more strongly about that if Brett didn't go back to work in the WWE in the 2000s, but he did, and he worked with Vince. But my biggest gripe with him really it isn't any of that. It's the screw job. I can't believe he insisted on winning the title on his last match with the company. Like, dude, you leave the company. You got to put someone over. Like you have to. And yeah, it's messed up if they did him dirty and if he wasn't in on it, which I still think he might have been. But even if he wasn't, yeah, that's dirty. But he literally was insisting on creative control for his last match. Get over yourself.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
true.
And they had so many ways they were trying to appease him. It wasn't going to be a clean win. Like there would have been interference. Brett still would have looked strong going into his new Like they're willing to do so much. And because he didn't like Shawn Michaels, he refused to do business. And I thought that was garbage. And I
absolutely. I mean, the fact that he's like anybody but him, I kind of wonder if that's true. I kind of wonder, all right, so all right, it's not Shawn Michaels anymore. It's going to be Stone Cold. You're going to lose to Stone Cold your last match in Montreal. I can't lose in my home like that. You know what I mean? And I agree with a lot of that. Like I mean, I definitely still, you know, like I'm still on Brett's side as far as like him knocking out McMahon and everything else because of how it went down and everything like that. Yeah, okay. But like I'll never back down from that. But I do agree with you where it's just like, you know, if you're not like knowing full well the history that Medusa, aka Alundra Blaze, had with like and Vince's apprehension, but look, I had my women's championship thrown out on the other show live. People saw her take my belt and throw it in the trash can. I can't have that again. Like you have to lose. Like that's the way it has to be. And it has to be tonight. I'm sorry, but that's like and really, you know, I mean, I can respect the fact that he didn't. If Brett was not willing to drop the title, he had no other choice but to do what he had to do. You know, so I guess on the one hand, like the Bret Hart fan of me is like, dude, he still should have knocked him out for doing what he did. However, but also, you know, being more mature and not being, you know, like a 15-year-old kid anymore. I understand why Vince had to do that. I understand that Brett was wrong in saying, like, I'm not doing that. Because, I mean, if you think about it, it's like people have done that to him. You know what I mean? Like Ric Flair leaving the company gave him the championship. He's like, dude, I'm out. Like, I'm going to lose to you. You know, you can't just not people. You can't not do the job when it's your turn to put somebody over as you're leaving.
Well, and I respected Vince a lot for this. So the way all the story goes, Vince went to Brett's locker afterwards, and Brett told him, I'm going to hop in the shower, and if you're still here when I get back, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. Yeah. And Vince stayed and took it. Like, which made, like, Vince stood on his business that night. He said, all right. And it wasn't to fight him. It was to let him get his hit in. And that made a lot of wrestlers that were still in the company respect Vince for taking his shot. And it knocked him the fuck out. And didn't it break his ankle too?
Something like that, yeah, because he was hobbled for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree with that too. And go ahead, Pop. I don't want to stop. I don't know if he was alive for the screw job. I think he might have been.
Was who alive for the screw job?
Stu Hart.
Alive
when he was. Stu was definitely alive for that. Stu was alive when Brett went to WCW. He was alive, I believe, when Owen died.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it just, I don't know. It's really it's kind of a crazy thing when you think about it, just because of the fact that you have, just you're the son of a wrestling promoter. Like, what if Bad News Brown, because Bad News Brown was the champion up there. He was Bad News Allen, and he was a champion in Stampede. What if Bad News Allen decided, hey, you know what? I'm not losing, and I'm gonna go to WWE. I'm taking the Stampede title with me. How would he have felt about that? You know what I mean? Like how would that have gone over? So it's like you're the kid, like you've been around it your whole life, and like you said, yeah, he stood on business. Vince stood on business. Vince got knocked out. And then on top of that too, it's just like to look at it. I mean, there's a lot of different angles you can look at it, and again, having seen it as a teenager, as a kid, like obviously, like I was like, oh, he screwed Brett and everything like that. But then you get a little older, and like, all right, you can see it a little bit more clear. You can kind of understand the business part of it, and I mean, there was wrong done on both sides. Initially, I mean, Vince was forced into doing wrong because Brett refused to, move forward because, and I don't know, but I don't like a time honored tradition, but he refused to do business. What can you do? There's not much else you can do other than just be like, you know what? If you're not going to lose this, I need my title back. You're moving on. You know what I mean? So yeah, the Hitman character, as far as the WWF at the time is concerned, okay, like you said, they assassinated that character in the ring. Well, yeah, they kind of had to, because he's going to WCW now. So the Hitman in WWF means nothing now. Like, I mean, you've already spit in the face of the WWF by being like, I'm not going to do business. Okay, then we have no obligation to you to make sure that we come through for you.
Hey, do y'all want to see the Funko Pops they got this week?
Yeah, let's see them.
All right. I'm going to whip them out for you fuckers. All right. The first one is a Power Ranger. I got this White Ranger dude.
Nice.
From the movie. Oh, also shout out to my homegirl Peyton from the Pullman Club. She's watching. She's a big fan. I got this Michael Keaton Batman.
Oh, nice. I like that. I like the packaging and everything. That's nice.
Yeah. Kind of hard to see him in there with the dark box, but that's what the pop looks like. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got this battle damaged Superman from the movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's got a little burn on his face there.
I was gonna say, they give him a shiner under his eye, but yeah, he's all.
I think it's more like after he got done fighting the kaiju.
Oh yeah.
So he's got a little smut on him. And then this is the one I'm most excited about. I got the Nightfall Batman, the Azrael Batman.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
that looks cool. Yeah, it's funny when you see that, like, oh, like they didn't come out with that before. Like that's actually really cool.
Yeah, dude, I was very surprised when I saw that this was a new release. So, yeah, those are the Funko Pops. I know, Pop likes his Pops, so I had to show I just got this the other day. So
you got all those for Batman Day last Saturday, maybe?
No, I just dude, Facebook advertisement got me, and I clicked into it, and then I needed to order 5 to get free shipping. So I asked my wife if there was one that she wanted, and she got one, and then I got these 4. So yeah, it all worked out.
I see Papa typing away, so wait for him to respond, and I'll get into my next thing, because you mentioning a Facebook ad, an Instagram ad got me to look at some tickets that I wanted to see, and my God,
I have Batman Pops for sale, D.
Ooh.
All right, we'll have to chat about that.
So as you were saying about having I saw an ad and I had to take a look. So I saw an ad for StubHub advertising the next WWE event coming my way, which is the Raw on November 10th. And I was like, let me see what tickets look like, just because. To sit in the nosebleeds, it's $200. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Now, I assume that some of that is the mock-up from StubHub because, why wouldn't you try to make profit on your tickets? But ringside on StubHub are going for $5,000 for a Monday Night Raw. I was like, that is crazy. So then I decided to pull up Ticketmaster to see, like, all right, like, what's the mock-up or what's, like, it couldn't be that out of control or insane. But for the ringside, for same event, it's a Monday Night Raw show. The ringside is about $3,000. I was like, they're charging $3,000 for ringside seats at a Raw event. That's insane. Like, TKO is very greedy, and they charge way too much money for their tickets. And that's going to end up being, I think, definitely a point of contention and something that they're going to have to come to reckon with soon, because attendance to these events is going to go down if you're going to make people pay like absurd amounts of money to go to see wrestling shows. Like wrestling is a family event. I understand, like, a lot of people like, oh, but they have UFC and everything else. Those are not family events. UFC and boxing are more like high-end entertainment type events, almost similar to a concert. Wrestling is not like that. I can see if you're going to like a WrestleMania. Okay, fine. Yeah, you're going to pay more for the ticket. When you're going just to a regular Raw, that's pretty ridiculous. And the other thing that's crazy is that, like, so I guess they're experimenting with like dynamic pricing. So Indianapolis just had WrestlePalooza. The next time they come back, they're going to try to charge more and say, oh, if you want this event, you got to charge more. They tried to get, I think it was $7 million out of the city of Boston to host Cena's last match. City of Boston told them to kick rocks. Like, yeah, no, we can't do that. It's going to be mid-December. Tourism is not going to be what we need to go ahead and justify a purchase or an expenditure of that kind of money. So they said no. And we no longer, and I was looking to see like if the event is still there. I don't think we have that event anymore. I think we lost the Saturday night's main event.
It's in DC. Yeah.
Yeah. So just, word to the wise, if you're going to try to go to a WWE event. Now, I don't know if this translates to house shows, but I was actually I don't know when there's another house show coming this way, but I'll tell you right now, if house shows, if you're going to have to be paying like multiple hundreds of dollars to go to house shows, there's a problem. And
they're not doing as many house shows either. Like, that's one of the things is they've actually and I think that's good for the wrestlers to not have to be like, to do Monday Night Raw and then be in another city the next night. And another, like, they're getting more. I like that a lot. And the house shows, to me, for the most part, were kind of pointless because if you went to it, like, I went to a house show in the late 90s where The Rock fought Triple H, and Triple H was a champion, and it was for the WWF championship. Like, everyone there knew that The Rock wasn't walking out with the title that night on a house show. Yeah. So doing shit like that was kind of weak, but
yeah. It's been a long time since they've done title changes on house shows. Like, it usually never happens.
They are greedy, but if people are willing to pay it, then whose fault is it then? I'll just say that.
No, I can agree to that, Papa. But I think that what's going to happen is that they're going to find that people aren't going to be able to spend that much money to go to a wrestling show, and they're going to have to come down eventually, or find other people that are willing to, if you, like they said, they're taking WrestleMania over to Saudi Arabia, which is, I can't fault them for that. If they get a good enough deal and then the money's right, yeah, you got to do it. But I think that, just thinking of it in the logistics of keeping this thing going, like, just because people being able to take their kids to an event, like my sister loves Jey Uso, like that's like her favorite wrestler, and I would love to take her to see a show where he's at because I know she would enjoy it. And that's the thing is, like, me being a wrestling fan, I'm not going anywhere. But in order for this thing to keep going, you need to get the young kids involved. And if a show costs so much that they'll never be able to see it, like, you're entering like what people will pay to go to like vacations and stuff. It's like, look, $5,000 to see wrestling is ridiculous. I can go on a trip for that. Like, I'm not spending my vacation money to go see wrestling. That's out of control.
Well, we want to talk about costs, dude. Like, after watching WrestlePalooza, I will not be subscribing to that ESPN Plus channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll give you I bought Peacock for the year. And my only reason for doing that was the WWE pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
And they ended that. Originally they weren't going to switch over until 2026. And then randomly, they just out of the blue were like, hey, we're going to ESPN now. And I have YouTube TV. And I have Netflix. So I'm able to watch Raw. Like I already had those two things going. Dude, like I'll be honest with you. I might not be any good for the show anymore. Because if I can't watch the PLE, I'm not going to watch the lead up to it. And I can afford it, but I'm not willing to.
Yeah. And I hear that completely. I'm just curious, like, so basically you would watch Raw and then maybe like SmackDown with, the fact that, because you can get those with no problem. But yeah, the PLE not being accessible is a big deal. And I mean, because you would figure that's where the money's going to be at. And, like the fact that I'm a massive wrestling fan. I really do love it. And if they do end up moving everything off of Peacock and onto the ESPN app, that's going to suck. I mean, as long as it's on the app and if you already have it, that's fine. You can pay for the year for it. But if you're going to charge me another $40 or whatever it's going to be to watch wrestling outside of that, I'm not doing it. I just won't, because it's just like
I was getting Peacock for roughly about $9 a month by buying it for the year.
Yeah.
And it came with a lot of other programs which I enjoyed, but I didn't care about any of that. I bought it for the PLEs. And now that is useless, and I still have that for another 8 months. All right, so I'm mad about that. And then they moved it to a platform where it will literally cost me $30 a month. And I don't want any of their other content. I would only be buying it for the PLE. And like I said, I can afford it, but I choose not to.
Yeah.
And that's me. Like I'm one man, I'm one person. I will vote with my wallet. But that will also, force me to stop watching, the rest of their programming, because I'm not gonna watch the build up if I don't get to see the conclusion. And I will watch Saturday Night Main Event for Lesnar's last match. That will be on Peacock. But after that, I'm going to kind of start tuning away and get back into my AEW stuff. Sorry, Pop.
I have to ask you, just because as kids who grew up in the 80s and 90s and stuff, and all throughout, I wasn't able to afford every pay-per-view or anything like that. So there was plenty of times where I would watch Raw and Nitro and get to the point where like, all right, the show is going to happen. And and then we end up seeing on Monday, the still photos of what happened and this and that. I don't want to go through that again. I'll be honest with you. I agree with you where it's just like, yeah, I really don't want to have to watch all the build and then, I can see still photos of it, because that's what they're going to do.
What I don't understand is Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Unlimited is $30, so it's only $10 for each. So what's the big deal here?
I see, and I knew Papa was going to sit there and just call us cheap fucks. So that's the introductory rate, Papa. After you are on that for however long the introductory rate goes, it's going to skyrocket on you. And I'll say another thing. Oh, yes, it will. It'll go up. Dude, I bought Netflix back in 2006, and in order to have Netflix, and that's when you could have DVDs and everything else. And then when they switched to streaming, it went. I think it was like $6.99 a month. It is not no $6.99 a month.
Here's the scary thing. It's not if you have enough money. It's the inconsistency. It's like Dee just said. He paid for a thing that lasts a year, and it's leaving. So the underlying problem is we don't know if this offer is going to last at all. You know, it could jump all over the place. So,
well, I mean, and the other thing too is that I am kind of curious if, you know, like, so, okay, it's $30 to get the PLEs and this and that. However, let's look at something like the Big Four. Do you think that that WrestleMania is going to not be dynamically priced? I have a feeling that they're going to charge you more for WrestleMania because it's a 2-day event and it's the biggest show they have. And you know what? It's $60 for WrestleMania. I could definitely see something stupid like that happening. And that's one of the things I don't like, because it's like, and that's the thing, you have to be careful with what they get you to buy, because, oh, you paid this much for this. Well, surely you'll pay this much for this show. You paid this much for the Rumble. Well, surely you'll pay this much for WrestleMania. You know, you watch Elimination Chamber. Oh, no, sorry. You watch Money in the Bank. Surely you'll pay extra for SummerSlam, and that's how they get you every single time.
Even Papa's got to see by now, like, WWE, if there's $1 to make, they're going to do it. So they don't care if the customers got payout or not. They're just going to make that money. So once another harebrained 4 freaking apps you got to buy come together to make some, they're going to take it. That's just the history of them at this point.
And actually, like D said too, like, so you think about that. So because you said Hulu, and I'm not jumping on you or anything, Papa. I'm just saying, but you said Hulu, ESPN. All right, so you have that bundle. Let's say you get the bundle of those 3, right? That's $30. But then you also need Netflix to watch Raw, so that's another expense for the WWE. Then you also need Peacock, so that's another expense. So it's just like, you know, the $30 is now turned into what, 55 or 60 a month? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. No, I've very one. I'm not getting Hulu because I already have YouTube TV, and I don't need Disney Plus. I don't care for that at all. ESPN Plus is the app that I need. It doesn't come bundled in with YouTube TV. I tried to sign up for something called Fubo TV, which is where Hulu Live TV is going to transition into that once Hulu becomes a part of Disney Plus in a year. But even Fubo TV was the same charge as YouTube TV, but then they gave me a hidden like $20 fee for regional sports, which I didn't want. So, oh man, I'm not paying extra for anything. I could afford it. I would do it if I felt like it was the right thing for me. But like I said, I'm voting with my wallet. Boston, your daughter's hair looks fantastic. Very nice job with that. The Stitch blow dryer that you can get on Amazon. And we got Prime Day coming up here. Big bucks to be made. Get that for your daughter. Don't miss out.
There you go. He gave you a promo.
Okay. So, first things first, here's after I did my hair.
There we go.
Say 6'7".
6'7"?
No, go.
6'7"?
All right.
Everyone out there, say 6'7" in the comments, please.
Okay.
Wait, do it in 5, 4, 3. Show me in the comments.
Well, they had to put it, but you better do it quickly because we're getting ready to get out of here.
Yeah, so got 10 more seconds. 10.
Again?
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want to see them in the comments. Did anyone type it in?
There you go. They did it.
Who's that? Who's that?
Oh, 2 people did it. There you go.
He put a question mark. So the person who put a question mark for 6'7", it's just like 6'7" is like so it's like
that was me that put the question mark because you always do this when you do the 6'7". So when I typed 6'7", I did the question mark because you're supposed to do this.
Yes.
So wait, I picked up. Yeah, I picked up what you were putting down.
Yep, he understood what you're doing.
And then is that someone else?
Yeah, that's someone else. That's Dr. Von Hoot. And he put the 6'7" because you asked him to.
I'm doing a special dance. We need this guy in here. If we didn't, then we wouldn't be able to say 6-7 in the comments. 6-7. Peace. Love you all. Oh yeah, you better like my hair appointment. 6-7.
Okay, thank you.
Peace.
Night-night.
Carolina cappuccina. Me, 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 me.
All right. Well, that's how we exit a show. You know, 6-7 and all the rest of it. So let's see. Let's go around the horn. D, you got anything coming up? You show us your pops and everything. Anything else happening?
No, I will. I don't think I'll be able to make Biggie's show tomorrow, but I should hopefully be there next Wednesday for the comic book club. So
there we go. All right, Biggie. I saw you showing that Richie Rich book. What's up with
I'd like to just shout out Harvey Comics, 12-cent Richie Rich. He's fishing in his goldfish pond with diamonds, and he's got little freaking diamonds and gems on his fishing rod. You know, Richie Rich, man, go check it out, guys. Comic books are fun. Friday night, the Banger Championship. We've incorporated art, so you get to see some of your favorite comic book YouTubers do a little doodle do.
All right.
cock-a-doodle-doo.
So yeah, be sure to check out Biggie Shack. That's going to be tomorrow night to Collect the Club, and you know he's got all the big battles happening on his show. Apparently, they're going to be drawn and doing some art battles as well as showing off books. So definitely go check that out. Pop,
Hey, Biggie, hold on, Biggie, is your show on at 6 or 7?
6 or 7. 6 or 7.
All right. So as for me, Hunt's going to be happening this Saturday. I know the big battle is going to be Bleak the Hitman versus King John. King John, apparently, according to Bleak, was behind sabotaging his church getting kicked off the air. So Bleak wants revenge, and he's trying to take that king crown from King John. So tune in on Saturday. It's going to be 9:30 Eastern to go ahead and see the Hunt. It's at 8:30 Central if you're Central Time, and on the West Coast it's 5:30. So watch it while you're eating dinner. So check out the Hunt. Check out Biggie Shack's Collector Club. Church on Sunday. I don't think that we're doing a graphic content next week. I have to talk to Hudat just to make sure. But you know, and always every Thursday right here on Sweet Chin Music, we're going to talk about wrestling and the different things that's happened throughout the week. So that's what I got, Papa. What do you got?
Stephanie McMahon deserves it.
And I'm out too.
Oh my God!